If it would have been at the Korean church, I'd be there.
That's a lot more serious than Sunday people going to church.
Hi, brother. How you doing?
All right, how you doing?
All right.
So how could you allow Antifa in your parking lot?
How could you allow racism in America?
Who is you? Who are you?
I'm just someone protesting the church.
I know, but what group are you in? You don't like Antifa. Who are you?
I'm a cop watcher. I'm one of the.
Patriot.
No, I'm a cop watcher.
You're a Christian patriot.
I'm a cop watcher. All the cop watchers were scratched off the list of being able to speak during the city meeting here.
So you protest in the church?
Yeah, your pastor was there.
Who's
Your
my
pastor
pastor?
sat there and seen people
Who's
shoving
my
and stuff.
pastor?
An older guy.
And he supposed to stop the people from shoving? An older black man supposed to stop these young white people from shoving? Even if he had the ability.
Mm-hmm.
But he don't have the ability. Let's just be realistic.
He had the people that was in there that could have stopped it.
So
He
you're
could have
not
he could have kept
Who were
it.
the two sides
he-
that were here?
Huh?
Who were the two sides of people that were here?
The two sides?
Yeah, who was
It
here?
was the city and the public. You had a handful of Patriot Prayer.
Patriot
and you had-
Prayer,
and
who
you had a
represent
whole
the
bunch
Ku
of-
Klux Klan,
They're not Ku Klux
that they
Klan.
represent every value that the Ku Klux Klan have.
No, that's
And who
media.
was the other one?
Antifa.
Antifa, and you're neither of those.
No,
You just a cop watcher.
I'm a cop watcher.
Well, enjoy your day.
Yep.
Enjoy your day, brother.
So what you guys did was wrong on censoring cop watchers, not letting them speak during the meeting.
But they wasn't here during the meeting. These are worshipers. That was a political thing. None of the people that are at church were there.
Okay. Your church allowed pushing and shoving in the parking lot and pushing and shoving in the sanctuary. Well, they do. Well, good. Then they can ask about it, and they can sit there and tell their pastor and stuff they don't want the city to come in here and do that stuff no more.
You know what, brother? You should ignore him like everybody else in the world. That's why he out here by himself. Just leave him alone.
My people go to this church. So
So do I. But we don't care. We don't care. Just ignore him. Everybody else in the world does.
How could you support Antifa, an organization that does violence against women and children? An organization that can't attack people until they got 5 or 6 at night and they're all dressed up in black clothes with rags across their face so you can't see who they are. That's pretty bad. And you allowed that in your parking lot? You allowed someone to walk into your sanctuary with 666 on their coat? I'm here to tell you that's wrong. See, I believe in freedom of speech, and I also believe in the right to protest. How can you guys think that it's all right to censor people, to cross people off the list of speakers because of their political ideas? Churches are supposed to be a place of neutral. I wouldn't go into that church if my life depended on it. You showed me what kind of church you are when the city meeting was here, when people were pushing and shoving in the sanctuary, talking about hatred. Yeah, you showed me what kind of church you are. You also allowed someone to walk in with on his coat had 666 on it. Most churches wouldn't let that happen in their sanctuary. Most churches wouldn't even allow that to happen in their bathroom. Then you had Antifa pushing people around that they disagreed with out here, cussing them out and stuff like that in your parking lot.
Caring people. When my children were in need, and when our family was in need, they were there for us.
Okay.
And I just want to let you know that getting to know some of the people that are there has made all the difference.
Well, I know when I came here, there was Antifa there in the city meeting that was pushing people around. They were cussing people out going up the stairs. They're pushing people around in your sanctuary.
You have to remember, some of the people that come to those meetings aren't necessarily members of the church. We open up the church for different community facilities to have meetings, and so I don't know who all.
Well, maybe you shouldn't open the sanctuary up. Maybe you should open the bathroom up for the meetings, because most churches wouldn't allow that even in their bathrooms.
That's not true. A lot of churches in the community open their churches up for community meetings.
For violence in your sanctuary?
Not for violence.
Well, that's what they allowed in there. The pastor was in there when that happened.
No, they had to have that kind of stuff come out.
No, it didn't all come out. Bridge Crane Johnson, he didn't come out. They let him speak after that. But when it was Cop Watchers' time to speak, all of a sudden, hey, you guys are crossed off the list. And either your church or Antifa scratched off the Cop Watchers. When Haley Adams was supposed to speak, she couldn't speak.
That it's a community meeting, and it's being held by the speakers. And I said, if you ever have a chance to even come to a meeting, you will understand how much outreach. In fact, we were praying for you in there that God would show you His love and see and get a chance to know what His love and what our ministry is about. I've seen more and more people in this church go out of their way when they didn't have to, and I'm not necessarily part of their family. I didn't grow up in the city. They didn't know anything about me, but the minute we walked in the door, they were the kindest, most loving people.
Haley Adams went in there and sat with a group of people, and she was cussing. They were cussing at her. They were cussing at the people she was with. They were calling them fascists. And when she stood up, they started shoving on her.
But you have to remember,
they kicked her out.
Everybody that was there is a member of the church.
It was
open to the
guarantee
community.
you, I would guarantee you, because I saw who was in there. They were not church members that were in there.
So
Right, but the church allowed it to happen.
The church opens their doors and they allow all kinds of people to hold
they have
meetings
health
here.
meetings about
All
how
the
different
time.
things that are make it available for the community. They have a Tai Chi class there that's open to the
I
community
go to
come
that.
for different things.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things about trying to make sure people eat right and stuff and have samples of food and that's what I say.
All kinds of
I've
health
been around
stuff
and I've
for
seen more
Yeah.
than just a one-time incident that wasn't necessarily somebody from the church.
I've been here like 3 or 4 times when cities held events here, and they've crossed my list off every single time. Mike Bluehair's been here twice and had his name crossed off.
But that's opening up a room to be used as a facility.
Your sanctuary.
And so I'm letting you know that
A sanctuary is not just a room. It's a place that's supposed to be reserved for God and worship. You opened it up for violence, and you allowed violence. You didn't push everyone out that was violent.
I wasn't at the meeting, so I couldn't speak at it. But I can say this, that I've known what's gone on in the church and other meetings that I've gone to. They care about how the police are affecting the community and the children and the neighbors around, trying to protect them. I've been there when they've invited the police chief here and different spokespeople to find out what we can do as a community to be able to reach out and be able to, make a difference. What can we do to, not create the problems or snowball them and stuff like that? It's like
You can videotape the cops, because every time a cop's being filmed,
there was no videotape. There was no police there. There was, other than the speaker that
there
was
was
there.
a lot of videotaping
No,
going
I'm
on
just
there.
saying, the meeting that I attended,
Yeah.
it wasn't that way. And I'm just saying, I go there on a regular basis, and I know these people, and none of them have ever been violent. They've been through. Some of these people have received people in such love, and yet they've never been received in love. They've been treated like crap as they grew up. They were treated in all the things you've learned growing up about discrimination. These guys have responded with not hate, but with love. So I just wanted to let you know that I've experienced it.
I'm aware of that.
We all have something that we, have a purpose for.
Right.
But I just want to let you know and extend God's
Right.
love to you that this is a place.
Yeah.
It's a house of love.
If I let it just get swept under the rug, it'll happen again and again and again. Therefore, it's not being swept under the rug. And as long as it's not being swept under the rug, then people think 2 or 3 times about letting that happen again.
I've stood up for things in my own life. When my dad I would get in the car and my dad would say something discriminatory about somebody, and I said, Dad, do you even know that? Do you know why they're double parked on the street? Blah blah blah. And he would always put them down and stuff. And then all of a sudden he found out that it wasn't somebody of color; it was somebody who was white. Well, you start acting like them, that kind of a thing. And I said, I'm sorry, but my kids are here, and I said, I can't judge people on what they look on the outside. I said, I have to judge their heart, how they treat
Yeah.
people.
Like I told that dude over there. I don't care about the color. The color doesn't.
No.
If it happened at the Portland Adventist Church, I'd be over there with the bullhorn on Saturday. If it happened at the Bethany Church downtown, I'd be over there with the bullhorn.
Robert, how are you?
All right, how you doing?
All right, what you up to today?
Oh, just having some fun.
How fun you having today?
No, they decided that cop watchers and right wingers couldn't speak during the city meeting, and right wingers,
They have that here.
yeah, and people like Haley Adams and stuff was pushed around.
I read a little something about it. I wasn't here.
Yeah, and so I'm just sort of letting the congregation know that happened and that's not appropriate.
But these people had nothing to do with that.
No, but the congregation has a lot to do. Congregation can go to the elders and say, we don't want that kind of stuff happening here.
Yeah. I mean, do you think this is the best way to go about it for people trying to worship their God on Sunday?
It's the only way to get to the congregation.
Well, I mean, you could write.
That doesn't get to the congregation.
Yeah.
The congregation, most churches, the congregation votes on who the elders are.
Right.
And if they go to the elders and say, hey, we don't want this city meeting here, we don't want Antifa on our property, then
Well,
they
they let them meet here.
Huh?
They let them meet here.
Yeah.
So, what's the beef?
My beef is when I'm watching Haley Adams go up and there's 3 Antifa yelling and cussing at her.
Well,
And then when I go up, they're yelling and cussing at me.
these people weren't doing
No. But they allowed it in their
that.
church.
Well, these people didn't allow that. I about doubt they were even here.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know, Robert. I got called here, and you've always been cool with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, any chance you could call it a day?
What time is it?
12:30.
Yeah, I'll call it a day.
Thank you, man.
But I'll be back next week.
That's fine. That's fine. You have that right. But I'm just asking as a favor.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks, man. I really do. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
All right.